A lot of people aren't just tired, they're burnt out from performing steadiness, usefulness, and emotional control all day, while their nervous system keeps running long after their mind is done. It's 11:07 p.m., your keys hit the bowl by the door, and your shoulders are up around your ears. And your dog trots over with that soft, hopeful face that feels like the first honest thing you've seen all day. So you do what almost everybody does on autopilot. Hand comes down from above, 2 solid pats right on the head. Maybe a little extra pressure, because in your body that reads as love, it means finally, something simple. In your dog's body, that same move can land differently. It lands a lot closer to, what did I do? And that disconnect is brutal precisely because the intention is so good. You fed them, you missed them. You've been performing competence for 10 straight hours under fluorescent lights, answering messages with fake punctuation, and using your customer service voice on people you wouldn't voluntarily stand beside in a grocery line. Then this animal walks up with zero agenda, zero small talk, zero need for a polished version of you. And the first thing you want is fast, obvious, reassuring contact. A firm pat says, "There, we're connected, I'm home, we're okay." But if you really watch the moment, the picture gets stranger. Instead of the story in your head, the head dips a fraction. The eyes blink faster, the tongue flicks out once. The body stays there, but not in a melted, happy way. It stays in a polite, still way. That's why this catches so many loving owners off guard. The moment feels wholesome from the human side. The leash is on the hook, the leftovers are in the microwave. The dog is in front of you, and the whole scene looks like affection. But sometimes what we call affection is just the quickest gesture that our exhausted nervous system can reach for. Big movement, top of the head, message delivered. From down where your dog lives, a hug doesn't arrive as love. It arrives as a sudden loss of options. Vision narrows, movement gets blocked. The chest and shoulders are pinned by 2 large limbs coming in from above. And the nervous system has to answer one question fast. Is it safe or not safe? That's why so many dogs go still in that moment, and people mistake the stillness for calm. But stillness isn't always comfort. Sometimes it's a brake pedal. Ears slide back, the body firms up, the whites of the eyes show. The head turns slightly, a lip flick, a little yawn, a tiny lean away. Those aren't dramatic protests, because dramatic protests are risky. When you're 12 inches off the ground and the larger animal controls the space, the system often chooses tolerance before struggle, freeze first, and biologically that makes sense. Dogs read pressure, angle, speed, and access. Arms wrapping around the body can resemble restraint. A hand dropping over the skull can feel more like downward control than affection. Even with a familiar person, the body still runs the old math. Overhead approach, reduced escape path, chest compression, uncertain duration. Which is why the interaction can feel so confusing to us. You come home overloaded, cortisol still humming, shoulders locked. Brain replaying 3 annoying conversations, and 1 email you definitely shouldn't have reread. You reach for the most human-looking form of comfort you know, hold tighter. But your dog isn't processing the symbol of the hug, your dog is processing the mechanics of it. Contact, pressure, proximity, freedom, predictability. And once you see that, a lot of those weird little reactions stop looking random. They start looking like a body doing threat assessment in real time. Which matters before we talk about what actually feels better for both of you. This is the part people hate hearing, because it sounds less romantic and a lot more biological. Your dog isn't decoding your guilt the way a person would. They're tracking sequence, pressure, tone, distance, speed. Their nervous system is basically asking one blunt question after another. Did the environment tighten, or did it soften? So when a sharp voice, a looming body, or a "hey no," is followed 2 seconds later by frantic soothing pats, you may feel like you're repairing the moment. But to the dog's brain, especially under a brief sympathetic nervous system spike, that touch can land as noise, not comfort. Think of what just happened physiologically. A correction. even a mild one, can nudge the HPA awake. Cortisol doesn't vanish because you suddenly feel bad. The body has already started cataloging the event. Voice changed, muscles got tense, space got smaller. Dogs are absurdly good at timing because survival wired them to be. They don't need a TED talk, they need a coherent pattern. If the same hand that just pointed, blocked, or reached now comes in fast for "it's okay baby," the signal is muddy, not evil. And honestly, that should be a relief. Because this isn't about being a bad dog person who ruined the vibe forever. It's about how mammalian nervous systems work when the message changes too fast. First pressure, then comfort, then pressure again. Nobody regulates well in static. Which is why the better read is often boring. Let the moment settle. Let the cortisol wave come down a notch. Let the room get intelligible again. Then affection can actually feel like affection, instead of an argument with mixed lighting. And if you're hearing all of this, and feeling that horrible little drop in your stomach, like, great, so even my affection is wrong, pause right there. This isn't a morality story. You didn't fail your dog because you reached out when they were barking, or because you rubbed them a little too fast after a long day, or because your hand landed on their head. The way every loving human on earth has done at least once. You were speaking fluent human comfort. They were processing through a different body, a different sensory map, a completely different nervous system. That mismatch can create confusion, yes, but confusion isn't betrayal. Most people aren't being careless. They're tired. They come in carrying grocery bags, unopened bills, 3 half-finished conversations in their head, shoulders somewhere up near their ears. And then the dog is right there. Warm, familiar, immediate, no performance required. Of course your hand goes out. Of course you want contact. That impulse isn't selfish. It's nervous system logic. Humans reach to soothe. Dogs read timing, pressure, speed, posture, context. Same moment, 2 different biological interpretations. That doesn't make you bad at love. It means love is happening across species. And cross-species communication is a little messy sometimes. And honestly, some dogs do adore the whole cuddle routine. Some lean in, some shove their shoulder under your palm, like a tiny union rep demanding better benefits. Some come back for a second round before you've even stopped. So this isn't a courtroom where we decide whether you're guilty of petting incorrectly. It's closer to realizing that even a very affectionate dog can hit a sensory limit. The same way a hug can feel amazing at 6 p.m. and unbearable when your phone is ringing, your cortisol is up, and your whole body is already buzzing. The point is relief, not blame. Once you stop making this about your worth, you can actually notice what your dog has been saying all along. That shift matters, because shame makes people rigid, and rigidity is the exact opposite of good connection. If your dog moved away, shook off, or seemed oddly tense after touch, that isn't proof you hurt the bond. It may just be their body clearing stimulation, resetting, choosing space. No drama, no indictment, no tragic music, just information. And information is kind. It means you don't need to spiral, you just get to adjust. So if you want one tiny reset tonight, don't turn this into a training project or a moral exam. Don't make a checklist, just get down on the floor for 2 or 3 minutes. That's it. Sit with your back against the couch. Loosen your jaw, let your shoulders drop a half inch, and let your pet decide the distance. If they come closer, offer your hand low and off to the side. Instead of hovering over them like a slow-moving UFO, let them sniff. If contact happens, keep it simple. Chest, shoulder, side of the neck. No dramatic performance. No "am I doing this right" spiral. You're not trying to earn a gold medal in consent mechanics. You're giving both nervous systems a clearer, quieter moment to organize around. And while you're there, notice one thing in your own body. Does your breath get a little longer? Do your thoughts stop speed running your to-do list for 10 seconds? Do your shoulders finally unclench from their Wi-Fi password position? That's the useful data, that's the shift. Because sometimes the most healing part of being with an animal is not the petting itself. It's that for one small slice of the day. Nobody is asking you to explain yourself, impress anyone, or perform being okay. You're just there, warm floor, soft fur. If this kind of pet interaction brings you back into your body, that isn't weakness. It's your nervous system recognizing a form of connection that lets it recover without performing. Try that once and come back here. What's the one interaction your dog or cat does that pulls you out of your head the fastest? The lean, the sigh, the stare, the little drive-by touch? I want to know what your nervous system recognizes as home. Tonight, do one restorative thing first. Sit on the floor for 2 or 3 minutes. Notice whether your breath gets longer. Notice whether your shoulders start to drop. And notice how quickly the rumination begins to break. This is for your recovery, not a performance review.